Hello, good morning and welcome to our Grand National Fantasy Trainer, where we at Boylesports are giving you the chance of winning a fantastic prize. All you've got to do is take €100,000, split it into 5 horses and try and get accumulate some serious points ahead of next weekend's Aintree Grand National, which of course will take place at the famous Aintree Racecourse. I'm going to go through my 5 picks, and the first horse that I'm definitely going to give a squeak into is Chicago Grey. Trained by Gordon Elliott. We all remember that magical ride he was given to win at the Cheltenham Festival 12 months ago when winning over 4 miles. I think the Grand National fences will suit. I think if this horse gets into a nice rhythm early on in the race, the stamina won't be a problem, and he's a very sound jumper. And I just think the first 2 or 3 fences, if he gets into a nice early rhythm, he could run a massive race for Gordon Elliott, who of course was the trainer when Silver Birch won the Grand National back all the way in 2007. Second on my list is the Tom Taft trained Treacle. I thought, that's a bit of a tongue twister, but I thought he ran a serious race at Leopardstown over Christmas when a fast finishing second in one of the most competitive handicap chases that we have here right throughout the year. He has since come back to Leopardstown where he finished 3rd in the Hennessy behind Kel Esprit. I always felt that the Grand National was obviously the main target, and if he's running that well in trips on the little bit of a shorter side, I think he could run a big race. But as we all know, you need so much luck in running when it comes to Aintree. Third horse up is Alpha Beat. Some people might say to me, well, he hasn't really done anything since he won the Kerry National at Listowel, and I'd probably have to agree with you. But the last time he was pulled up at Fairyhouse behind Prince de Beauchamp, who of course is now a non-runner for Willie Mullins. This horse is trained by the Shark Hanlon, and I just feel that there will be a decent run in him. There's supposed to be a bit of rain around Liverpool next week, and I think any little bit of rain at all that comes on the ground certainly won't do Alpha Beat's chances any harm whatsoever. He will stay the trip. He's not a bad jumper, and I think the Shark will have him spot on for the big day. My second last horse is Always Waning. Now, this horse, he won the Topham at Aintree, which of course is on the Grand National track, and I think that's a huge help for any horse going back to try and win the big one. It is horses for courses at Aintree. A lot of horses don't really take to the fences, but this guy certainly did. Is his best days behind him? I don't know. He's a huge price if you're having a bet on the race, but I think Always Waning might just squeak into a place. And last, but certainly not least, Hello Bud. Trained of course by Nigel Twiston Davis, probably will be the mount of his son Sam Twiston Davis. And here's a horse who has also won at Aintree. Okay, we've got to go back to the very end of November in 2010, and he hasn't really been seen at his best this year so far, but he's put in a couple of decent efforts, and I just think if you're looking at an outsider, you can only spend 100 grand, so you've got to try and split this up as evenly and as best as you possibly can. He was the cheapest horse of all my selections at I think 7,500 Hello Bud will cost you, whereas if you look at Chicago Grey, he cost 35,000. But you've got to pick a couple of outsiders, and for me, Hello Bud, I'm a big fan of Sam Twiston Davis. He might just run a big race.